All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Josiah, and today we're going to look at Ben Johnson's press conference. We're going to see what he's saying, see what he's not saying, and get to the truth. Let's get it.
First day of pads. Everyone ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Go and open it up, guys.
Can you give an update on Kyle Guy for us?
It's
Backup running back for the Bears.
it's really the status quo. We're taking it day by day right now, but we're working through it. He's working hard with his rehab, and it should be on the shorter side here.
Specifics of what the injury is?
It's just a soft tissue deal. Yeah.
It's good.
There's the obvious stuff when the pads come on in the trenches. Are there things you like to look at specifically with positions or drills or whatever that, like when pads come on, you get a closer look at certain things?
Yeah.
I love that because I'm curious now that the pads are on, especially in the trenches, like with the tackles on offense, the guards, and tackle in particular has been a big question mark at the left tackle spot. Want to know what he's looking for and what can give some guys a little bit of a edge versus some of the other guys that are competing.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we got one-on-ones going on today. I love looking at that because it's our first time to really compete in that type of setting, and I think you bring out the best of both sides in that dynamic. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think these guys, is you go through the acclimation process, you can kind of feel it, the intensity pick up a little bit, and so I know they're ready for this, and the team drills will be great for us here today as we get back into it, and I think we're going to have a really good block of 4 days here coming up.
How are you scheduled?
I knew. Once he started talking about like the acclimation process, I was like, he's not going to tell us anything here. He's not going to give us any sort of insight.
Scheduling that block? Are there pads tomorrow? Pads like how's
Yeah, we got 2 days of pads, we got shells, and then we got pads again.
We know you were eager to see the tackles get the pads on for that competition. What do you want to see then carry over from the offseason work in the first week into now this session?
Okay, so you didn't answer our first question about the tackles. Now, what are you looking for that's improved? Give us a little bit of something, Ben.
Yeah, it's consistency for me. We're judging the ability to block these defensive ends one-on-one. And then, the ability to cut off on the backside of our wide zone scheme's huge for us. There's things in and out, and I think each one of those guys is probably a little bit stronger in certain areas than the other guy. And I think when we look at it, who's the most consistent player that we feel like is going to help us on a weekly basis.
All right, that was something. That was something that we could actually work with, and probably more important than anything, not us, but like the actual players can get more insight around what he's looking for. And consistency at the tackle position makes a ton of sense. That's literally all you care about with your offensive line. Primarily, it's just being consistently good. But I'm sure they'll ask more questions about this because that's one of the biggest battle spots right now.
Specifically, where do you see his strengths?
On a weekly basis.
With Will specifically, where do you see his strengths?
Well, I know Alabama, Cleveland, before he got hurt, that he was a very powerful player. And so it's hard to say that yet. Hopefully we'll see over the course of the next few days, next couple of weeks, if that continues to be the case.
Talking about Jedrick Willis, I'm a big Jedrick Willis fan. I think he's a little slept on. But yeah, injuries have hurt him a little bit.
It's he hadn't played football in a while, and so you're a little bit like, where's the confidence level at? And from what we've seen the last 4 days, it's been pretty good. It's been a good start, and so we'll continue to build that. And like I said, Braxton's been great. Jed's firmly in the mix. Karan got some reps with the ones. I think Theo's worth mentioning as well. I mean, I think we got a really good group of guys that continue to ascend and get better. So hopefully it's a really difficult decision for us.
And what are your
Yeah, interesting that he mentioned with Jedrick Willis, the biggest thing that he really wants to focus on is where's his confidence at. We're a couple of practices into training camp, first day with pads, and that's a logical question. You want to make sure his confidence is there, but he didn't sound overly confident like my guy Jedrick was moving super well as of right now. So it sounds like there is room for improvement. And if Jedrick was completely healthy and playing up to how we've seen him play before, I don't think he would be naming all these other guys, which again, a lot of us are expecting Braxton to be the guy, but I really thought he would maybe keep it towards them, like, hey, Braxton and Jedrick, but then he lists a ton of other people who are very viable, and I don't think that's a bad way of looking at it. You want to keep morale high, you want to keep everyone fighting for their spot, but it is a little concerning with Jedrick Willis, but that's just me being a fan outside looking in. For the Bears, you're in a pretty good spot because you have a lot of bodies that can do this job that you should feel at least okay about.
Plans for playing Caleb in preseason games? I know you have joint practices, and I know you have a practice right after that first exhibition game.
Yeah, I think for all of our starters, to be determined. We'll see what it looks like.
Okay.
And so that's how we're going to approach it over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be smart. You know, obviously, we need all these guys to be as healthy as we possibly can going into the season because it's a long year. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we're prepped and we're ready also. So we're looking at numbers. We got sports science data, the number of reps we're getting, the quality of the reps that we're getting. It all goes into it.
Is there
I'm still thinking about the tackles. Who do y'all want to see? Like Bears fans, like who do y'all actually want to see start for y'all at left tackle? For me, I'm pulling for Jedrick Willis, but you know, a little biased there.
Is it different this year that you and Caleb have worked together before, so there might not be any kinks to work out just practically in a preseason game?
We're
I like this question, trying to get a little bit more insight on like, hey, are you thinking that Caleb needs to play more or less? Like, how are you thinking about this spot since you've been with him now for a year?
looking at it. I think it's probably always good to at least go through the warm-up procedure to where game one's not the first time of doing that, you know, so there's a lot of merit in that regard. And we'll see what it looks like, but we haven't made a determination yet.
I don't think he's gonna play much. Only because I know Sean McVay, back when we didn't really see or know that he was a guy who rarely played starters in the preseason, he used to always say, I want them to at least boot up, act like they're about to play, and then we'll see what happens. And then they didn't play. That's not exactly what Ben Johnson is saying here, but I'm getting similar vibes.
Big picture with your offensive philosophy going back probably a few years here. When was the start of really gravitating toward the ideas of 3 tight ends and everything that could create as far as just unpredictability?
To me, it's it starts more with what defense you want to attack, and so when I first got into the NFL 15 years ago now, you would run 12 personnel out there, which is 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and most teams would give you base defense. And now, more teams than ever are playing nickel or a version of their big nickel to that. And so, in order, if you want to continue to attack base defense, the heavier packages may or may not generate that. And so I think there's just some merit. More teams are installing their nickel or their big nickel packages earlier on in camp, maybe day 1, day 2, because they're in it more often. And so for us as offensive coaches, we may want to attack the lesser used defense if we can. And so it just gives you flexibility. We look at that every week. Some weeks we can go exclusive 11 personnel, which is all 3 of our wideouts out there. Other weeks we might lean into a heavier package, but we want to be able to weave through whichever way we want to go each week.
Oh, great question, great answer. The question was all about like, hey, you've throughout your career utilized multiple like 13 personnel sets. That's something that teams use to varying degrees, but utilizing 3 tight ends out there. Like, what's the reasoning you do that? What kind of got you here? And he was like, hey, for me, I'm trying to attack the base defense. Like, and or I want to attack the defenses that they haven't practiced as much. And so me being able to utilize 13 personnel sets, 12 personnel sets, and he sprinkles in, hey, we're open to running 11 personnel sets too. Like, it makes it so I can attack the version of the defense I want to attack, and or you're going to be in a situation where you don't have the right personnel to defend this, and it's really just giving us an advantage to be able to get different and get weird. And at the same time, you're also helping your team morale stay pretty high because multiple people, multiple sets are going to be out there. Like, there's always a chance in every game you can be on the field and have an impact. That's the type of offense we have. That's a team environment. I love all that.
The other day, Cole said it's been seamless going to Garrett Bradbury at center in terms of the communication up front. Is that kind of how you've seen it so far? You've been pleased with that?
Yeah, he's extremely impressive. He's super smart. You know, he's played high level football in a couple of places now, and he's brought that here. I think what stands out the most is he's got an elite level of communication. He is loud. He is decisive. He does a great job with seeing the defense. There's a couple things so far he's seen. I mean, I would have done that. He's not in. I can kind of hear him in the back. I would have done this, and it's like, well, good, yeah. We're cooking. We're cooking right now with him out there. So really pleased with what that's looked like, and you can tell that he and Joe have played together. There's natural rapport there, and I think he's really taken to the room.
Nice. They're talking about Garrett Bradbury. He's the starting center. Garrett Bradbury is interesting because he was with. I am not an offensive line like guru or anything like that, but I remember he was with the Vikings for a bit. I can also pull this up. And then last year he was with the Patriots. Nice. Glad I was right about that. And basically, when I think about offensive line players, I think about what teams were they on and did I think of them as a team that had a bad offensive line, especially the center position because they run so much. Vikings back in the day had a pretty good offensive line. Patriots last year had a pretty solid offensive line until they got beat up by injuries, but still overall above average there. And the fact that he played with Joe Thuney, who's the left guard for the Bears, to me, the interior offensive line, like being familiar with each other, knowing when they get uncomfortable, what makes them uncomfortable, when they'll need a little bit of help, when they won't need any help at all, and just being familiar with the guy who's making the entire ground shake next to you is way more important than people give it credit for.
Offense has gotten a ton of early praise here, but getting to know you a little bit, I'm sure there's something as pads come on in the details that you're like, this has to be gotten right as we continue through here. What is that for you as you head into this week?
Well, I mean,
There's no chance he's going to answer that question. There's no chance in hell. The reporter was basically asking, "Hey, what's the biggest weakness with your offense right now that every team should realize is an area for improvement?" He's not going to answer this.
we've been up and down a little bit. We started off okay, and then that last practice wasn't very good from an offensive perspective. We had way too many mistakes. A couple delay games mixed in there, false starts, the little things like that started to accumulate, and I think that's probably normal with the volume continuing to increase, and yet it's not okay for us. And so we're going to nip that in the bud, and hopefully we'll get a little bit better in that regard. But I was happy with the first 4 days. Just I think with the team speed is what showed up more than anything. Both sides of the ball is we got some guys that can run, and they're doing a really good job of that right now, and it's only going to make both sides better as we go.
You do focus a lot on penalties in training camp, but he did not answer that. That is not his highest focus thing right now. Now that pads are on, there's a chance, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he just didn't want to answer that.
With tight end being a complex position, how much more have you been able to add to Colston Loveland's plate?
I would say
Question. I know last video we did, a lot of people were saying Colston Loveland's actually going to be receiver number 1 for this team, and then it's everybody else. I'm curious to know what y'all think about that, if that's how all Bears fans are feeling, but I like Colston Loveland.
pretty significant. He knows pretty much every spot. I mean, he's looking at the receiver routes. It's amazing to me when you go into a special teams meeting and you see him taking notes, and then you hear him asking questions about special teams units that he's not likely to be on. And so it just says a lot about who he is. He's just a sponge right now. He wants all the information. He knows all this knowledge is just going to make him a better player, and he's going to continue to play faster. So, yeah, I think there's a lot that he's learning, continue to learn, and he can apply it in real time, which is
Good
great.
stuff.
Jason to Dan.
Ben, where do you feel like you're at with DeAndre Swift as far as just his fit in your offense after one season, and maybe how much more you could do with him?
Yeah, I feel really good about where he's at. I've had long history with him, obviously, so know the skill set. Might be a guy that we just keep an eye on as we go through camp. We need him fresh and ready to go for 17 plus games this year, and that's really what we're most concerned about. But yeah, there's things in the pass game that we'll continue to look at and challenge him on. But where he is as a runner right now, I think we feel really good about.
Yeah, I don't know. Ben Johnson, every once in a blue moon, will get like a face when someone starts talking and asking questions. Like he'll kind of like scrunch up his mouth a little bit. And maybe he just doesn't like the reporter. Maybe didn't like or love him asking about his fit on the team. Maybe he thought that was him like questioning if he really was what they're looking for, and he felt like it was him trying to be sly about it. But I don't know. He was looking some type of way during that question. I think he gave us plenty of clarity though. It sounds like he's not overly concerned with Swift. He feels like he's in a good place with his role and how they want to utilize him. Of course, they've been talking about it a lot. They want to involve him a bit more in the passing game, but all they really care about is him staying healthy, which is why the Kyle Monangai piece is important. We need him to be healthy too.
And when you talk to Tyreek Stevenson about being more consistent,
Say it, who?
Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where
Tyreek Stevenson's cornerback.
are the specific areas where you really want him to drill on down and take his game to the next level?
Yeah, it's really the focus level from being in the building, paying attention to meetings and continuing to apply that on the field in throughout a 2+ hour practice. And so I think we've seen strides there. It's certainly improving. It continues to improve. He knows it, and so I think we're pretty happy with where he's at.
All right. Good stuff, Ben Johnson. Got some clarity on the cornerback there. Pretty basic answer, nothing crazy. But love to know how y'all are feeling about things. I appreciate y'all went crazy on that last video. Appreciate the support. If y'all could like, subscribe, and if y'all want me to keep doing these, I enjoy Ben Johnson. I think he's the smartest coach in football, so I like watching his interviews. But I'll keep following along if y'all want to keep doing it. If not, I also make a lot of videos for other teams too. So like I said, appreciate the support, y'all. Good luck out there. Peace.